Welcome to Ear to the Ground Sports presentation of Thursday Night Football at the Airport Grille. Can I guess where I am? The Airport Grille, New Bedford. Very good crowd in here tonight. Ready for Chiefs Chargers, which is available on Amazon Prime tonight only. So you can get on down here, get a seat, maybe a few seats left, and come on down and watch the game with us. Your friends at E2G, your friends at the Airport Grille, and go from there. So tonight's game, the LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Key guys out. Harrison Butker is not kicking for the Chiefs tonight. It'll be Matt Amendola as the kicker tonight. And Keenan Allen is out. He's back in LA. They elevated off the practice squad, and we'll talk about what that means for the team. Last week, Chiefs win at Arizona 44-21. Patrick Mahomes with 5 touchdown passes in the game. Some nice plays by the defense. 21 points was much later. The game was out of hand well before. So the Chiefs moved to 1-0. A lot of changes for them we will go through. The Chargers last week beat the Raiders 24-19 in a really good game. Picked off Derek Carr 3 times in the game with plenty of Raiders fans on location. And one of the most important things they did is, I'll start with the Chargers, is closing a game. And what I mean by closing a game is your defense steps on the field with a lead and they make plays. They either force a 4 and out at some point in time, get a turnover like they did, and it was Bosa and Mack just coming off the edges that looked really good. Asante Samuel Jr. had a pick in the game. They had no J.C. Jackson, their big free agent pickup from for this season. He was questionable for tonight, so we'll see what happens with him this evening. But it's very important. Start off early against the team that you're going to compete with. That's what the Chargers did with the Raiders. Kind of had that road feel when they stepped out there, and closing the game. Very important, whether it's, your 4-minute offense and shutting it down and being able to run the football, or your defense getting in the field and, a strip sack like they had and just changing the nature of the game. On the other side, last week, Mahomes with his new weapons. Again, anything Ear to the Ground Sports live at the Airport Grille, 8:15 kickoff. We do have Amazon Prime. It is set up. And crowd here, and food and beverages and everything you could possibly want. So feel free to join us. Patrick Mahomes' new weapons. A lot of talk about Tyreek Hill being traded to Miami. There was a lot of turnover as far as who is it going to be. Gerald Everett going to play big today. We know who that is. So the new weapons, like Juju Smith-Schuster, Valdez Scantling, I can never say his name, and Sky Moore, the rookie. Those are going to be his go-to guys, and Fortson was really good for him to score on a touchdown, helping. He's kind of that bigger wide receiver, tight end hybrid role. Almost kind of reminds me of like a Jared Cook or someone along that line, where he can help you out and be important to the offense. Last week, TD, he's putting up 20. Oh, yeah. All right. Now I get the post. Last week at TD, no Allen, so he's putting up 20 points in fantasy. Yeah, we're going to discuss that, what he moves up the chart, or if they kind of stay with the same type of offense, and what Guyton and Palmer can be tonight for Justin Herbert. So new weapons on that side of the ball, and we'll get into a little bit more of the running game in a bit, but these defenders, This is how good they did in the draft. Edge, George Karlaftis, end of the first round. 7th round cornerback, Jalen Watson. Listed as a starter on the depth chart tonight with our lads. Leo Chanel. It's good because, you have Willie Gay in the middle and Nick Bolton. And now you got 3 linebackers across if you're just running a base defense. Joshua Williams is another corner to keep on, and a guy I loved coming out of the draft. The big hitter, the enforcer at the University of Cincinnati. If Sauce Gardner ever did make a mistake, this was the guy who'd clean it up. And that's safety Brian Cook out of Cincinnati. So there's a lot of nice pieces for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're starting to integrate them. Gone are the days of the honey badger being out there. And Frank Clark, is on the other side of Karlaftis, Chris Jones, kind of turning over that defense and getting a little bit cheaper. And definitely it helped to deal Tyreek Hill's salary and get a little bit cheaper. But all these guys, they're fitting the system. They did a really good job of drafting this year, finding positional fits, finding system fits, and that's what it comes down to when you're drafting. J.C. Jackson will play tonight. That's just breaking now. J.C. Jackson is active and making his L.A. Chargers debut tonight. So when we talk about J.C. Jackson, we also want to talk about the good job on the L. That's awesome. Good job by me typing in the L. The safety dance in L.A., and that is Nasir Adderley and Derwin James and what they can do and their different abilities to high-low people over the top. You can play 2 deep. You can play a man up in the box and support and run and help out because now you have that edge pressure. So the tackles are going to be getting very busy in the run game when you have Bosa and Mack, who both can contribute against the run game. And this is where these guys come up, fill a hole, and turn it into 2nd and 8 because of their ability to shoot up. J.C. Jackson is back. Last week we saw Asante Samuel, what he can do. With a pick, he's kind of like his dad. He's got that ball hawk thing going on. Asante Samuel, J.C. Jackson, Michael Davis, who's always been a valuable veteran corner, and Bryce Callahan, who they picked up from Denver, who was part of the Nick Fangio group, who went with him and left with him. So that's what they're looking at on that side of the ball. The running back situation in Kansas City, very interesting because you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was a first-round pick a couple of years ago. You have Ronald Jones, comes over from the defending champs, and he comes over from Tampa, beats them a few years ago in the Super Bowl. He's out there. Sorry, hold on. There's like people coming in, just landing. Is this breaking up? Edwards-Helaire. All right, back to the show. Jerick McKinnon, Ronald Jones. Talked to somebody with the Chiefs before the season. There was talk that he was actively on the block. So we'll see. But Isaiah Pacheco, Rutgers, 12 carries last week, led the team. Good physical back. Just, he's going to help in the pass game too. He's going to help in the pass game too. So just another one of those products that they bring in. And Andy Reid kind of felt he's kind of like a Correll Buckhalter. If you remember him with the Eagles, Correll Buckhalter had that ability to run the ball pretty strong and catch the passes out of the backfield, especially those swing passes where he could get momentum and move forward. 2 guys to keep an eye on tonight, Jalen Guyton and Josh Palmer. filling in with Keenan Allen being out tonight. We'll see how those guys fill in, but Josh Palmer became very important down the end of the year, and Jalen Guyton, same thing. Just guys who mattered down the stretch. So we look at this AFC West, and if you're the Chargers, the first two games, you're home Raiders, which is pretty much a road game for you with the fans, and then short week on the road at Kansas City. That's really stepping in the Lions' den to be prepared, get in the game. You know, you're starting off with two divisional opponents. I mean, your divisional record is a big part of, stepping up and, tiebreakers and home field and just all those, because you get a home game for winning the division. So you want to go out there and win the division. And it's a good start. Tonight's that opportunity. The Chargers can say they won, a tough one at home and one on the road too. So we'll go from there. If there's any fantasy questions too, throw them on in. Last week, Gerald Everett going to play big today. So Gerald Everett fan, that's we know who that is. That's Rafi. What are you expecting out of him tonight? And what's his contribution? And how much of a factor can he be in this offense? And we also look at their running game. Austin Eckler, many touches, 20 touchdowns last year. I'd probably expect less than that. But they go out and they make some moves. Sony Michel is picked up. And when Sony Michel, 2 rings, 4 years, he's not going to be the lead guy, but you have Josh Kelly, who stepped up some last week. He's in his 3rd year out of UCLA. He was a 4th-round pick. So we'll see what happens. But guys you should keep an eye on, Zion Johnson, their right guard. He road grader, played at BC, lineman U. Rashawn Slater, in his 2nd year, he's the left tackle. And Trey Pipkins, who was a Division II at Division III right tackle, played guard. They kicked him outside. So he's become very important in the protection of Herbert. Let's talk about Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert should have been the pick that Miami made. I will say that till the day I go. He should have been the 5th overall pick. He should have. They'd be so much more of a threat. I mean, as good as Tua is against the Patriots, just having Justin Herbert on the field, and if you didn't see what he did in Week 18 last year against the Raiders in the 4th quarter and overtime, he really elevated, and that team should have been in the playoffs if not for their coach. Herbert's really good on the run, strong arm, can throw across the field. They have a lot of formation versatility with what they have, and he also has that ability to audible out of a pass play and hand it off to a back who's going to go out there and get some yards in Austin Eckler. And we got to see who can be that second guy to help out Austin Eckler. Isaiah Spiller is the other guy. We saw him at Texas A&M. So it's a matter of finding that right mix. Gerald Everett, nice pickup. We have a guy here who's in the kitchen right now who runs this place and is great. Has been telling me about Everett for a long time. So that has been his guy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going in and out here. That has been his guy at the tight end position. And an interesting piece is Fortson, who is, you got Kelsey and, we talked about what Fortson is, that bigger guy. Don't forget Noah Gray there. And their offensive line, you got Zeus Jr. on the left to protect its Mack and Bosa. They're running the 3-4, which is more of a familiar defense for their coaching staff. Learn from the Wade Phillips tree. So we'll go from there. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna play a commercial. Let everybody take a break, set things up, and in a little bit we may just switch off hosts and go from there. We'll get Galen's feeling on it, and here we go. This is what happens when you don't have Amazon Prime. You gotta call your friends to come and pick you up, to bring you to the airport grill to watch the Chargers and the Chiefs. He's getting a good jump. He's about ready to go. Join us here. We'll be here. 6:40 broadcast, 8:15 kickoff, only on Amazon Prime. Presented by E2G Sports. So this is what you need to see. This is how you see the game. A lot of people aren't going to pay attention, and it won't be available at 8:15. Get down here to the airport grill. It's set up on the TVs, ready to go. One of the best games of the year. LA Chargers, Kansas City Chiefs. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead. How do you beat that? We'll see you at the airport grill. So we're back here, Airport Grill, E2G Sports, live for tonight's Chiefs-Chargers game on Amazon Prime, 8:15 kickoff. The first Thursday where Amazon Prime is going to be the host for the game. So any comments, concerns, anything, type them in here. We can also talk a little fantasy to get you ready, and that's what I'm going to have Galen do in a little bit, is talk fantasy football with you guys since I've done the pregame. So we'll go a few more minutes if anybody else has questions on that. But when I look at this, just overall, this should be another one of those fun games. And it's a game that truly could go from like 13-10 to like 38-35 before you even know what happens. So keep an eye out for that. The offenses can explode at any point in time, despite all the defensive players that we did talk about and what they can be. If I'm going to give a prediction on tonight's game, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and the Chargers are on a short week, 1. No Keenan Allen, 2, which is very important to the flow. And they're on the road. And I just think they're a little bit of a disadvantage. So I believe tonight the Chiefs win this game between 4 and 7 points. It's going to be one of those where Herbert is going to have to score a touchdown to go out and get the win. But that's, it's about getting off the field. I talked about that. Closing. Mariano Rivera, closing the game out. Be in that team, get the sack, get off the field. That's what championship-level teams do. So we got to see which one of these defenses has reached or become that level of a championship defense. All right, we're going to play, just to let you know where we are, Airport Grill, food, bevs, band, airplanes, a lot of people. And Amazon Prime, which is the most important part of the whole bit, is the Amazon Prime to be able to see tonight's game. So we will go to commercial. So this is what you need to see. This is how you see the game. A lot of people aren't going to pay attention, and it won't be available at 8:15. Get down here to the airport grill. It's set up on the TVs, ready to go. One of the best games of the year. LA Chargers, Kansas City Chiefs. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead. How do you beat that? We'll see you at the airport grill. This is what happens when you don't have Amazon Prime. You gotta call your friends to come and pick you up, to bring you to the airport grill to watch the Chargers and the Chiefs. He's getting a good jump. He's about ready to go. Join us here. We'll be here. 6:40 broadcast, 8:15 kickoff, only on Amazon Prime. Presented by E2G Sports.
So it's on. Okay. All right, welcome back. We're live at the Airport Grill. I'm Galen. Just bringing you a little fantasy perspective on tonight. Huge game around the NFL. Start of week 2. Got some heavy hitters, especially at the quarterback position. You got Patrick Mahomes, certainly one of the game's true elite, at the quarterback position. Paired up on the other side, you have Justin Herbert, without his top wide receiver, at least from a proven veteran standpoint, Keenan Allen, who's hurt tonight. So that's without a pretty big target. But, he has literally as big as they come, to fill in, you would think, pretty seamlessly, uh, being Mike Williams, even though it was a very quiet opening week for him. 2 catches, 10 yards. I mean, I know myself, I can't be alone. I never really quite saw that. But, I mean, that aside, there's some great matchups to look forward tonight. Uh, you know, certainly what can Patrick Mahomes and company do as a follow-up this week? Um, yeah, we'd just like to get your thoughts. Who do you like? KC, the Chargers. Um, there's a lot of fantasy talent, on both sides of the ball. Obviously, for KC, you have CEH, Travis Kelce. You even got some potentials, and McCole Hardeman, found the end zone last week. But, when you're talking about receivers, overall potential, stuff like that, drafted accordingly, I'd have to say, he's one definitely to keep an eye on, Hardeman. We haven't really seen much consistency, especially to date, but who knows? Maybe this year's his year, But I heard a little bit of what Buddy had to say. They're looking good. They're looking very diverse, very spread, very spread throughout. The offensive end. I feel like they're not nearly as top heavy as previous years with the huge loss of Tyreek Hill. I feel like it's Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, and then there's a lot of very good compliments. But in terms of the opposite side, Los Angeles Chargers. Of course, you got Justin Herbert, Mike Williams. I'm looking for him to carry the wide receiving core tonight in the absence of Keenan Allen. But what is Josh Palmer, gonna bring to the wide receiving room tonight for the Chargers? He's getting a lot of optimism heading into tonight. He's got good size, and he's stepped up, when given the chance. But I feel like, as of right now, that's just it. He's lacking, a true week in and week out opportunity, coming in as their wide receiver 3. But tonight he's going to be getting plenty of run, in Keenan Allen's absence. Obviously, there wasn't really much to really speak of last week in terms of the running game. Um, you got Eckler, who is, again, from a fantasy standpoint, he's a darling. He's a one of the league's best, definitely a favorite. Gets plenty of volume on the ground, through the air. Um, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna step up and bring to tonight's game? I feel like if he's the Eckler that many drafted him to be, then certainly they should be able to clearly run with KC, and he very well could be a difference maker. He's definitely got the the work workhorse sort of talent and ability to be just that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm looking to see, hopefully a great game from him, and if he is any semblance of what we know he can be, then you could be looking at quite the tandem between him, Herbert, or even trio for that matter, Mike Williams. It's gonna probably shape up as pick your poison, on the ground, hit you long downfield. Plenty of options, go-to options, and just like I said, KC as well got plenty of options on their end. So, talk about from time to time, um, all throughout the football season, like a true pick 'em. I feel like we have that tonight on Thursday night football, start of week 2. But yeah, we're here live at the Airport Grill. Thanks for tuning in to the Thursday night pregame show. I'm live down here with Buddy. It's very exciting stuff. I mean, even if you guys don't really have a lot of these key players that we've been talking about and really featuring, I mean, it's just from pure excitement standpoint and just talking about a very talented sort of individuals, bringing you a lot of points and just going up and down the field very seamlessly. I feel like we have the two teams, not named Buffalo, of course, that will certainly do just that for you. So I'm looking for a very, very entertaining, very exciting, high flying Thursday night game. And it's funny because usually with the Thursday night game, it just almost always happens to work out where they don't always get off to the strongest of footing. I feel like the NFL is known for putting their lesser games on a Thursday night, and here, um, September 15th, 2022, start of week 2, you know, and a little over an hour from now, it's going to be anything but. I mean, I can't really remember a matchup this star-studded. Um, you know, just fantasy studs, on both sides of the field, offensively, defensively, the two quarterbacks going head to head. I mean, this is probably as good as it gets. On a Sunday, I mean, on a Thursday night outside of NFL Sunday. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it, and we want to hear from you. You know, Send us your questions, pick'ems, uh, you know, talk a little daily. You're doing setting a daily lineup for tonight, season long. We'll definitely do our best to answer you. So just leave a comment in the box. But once again, we're down here live at the Airport Grill in New Bedford, Mass.
I got a listener question asked me over here.
Yep.
This week, Patriot wise, would you? He has both Stevenson and Damian Harris.
Okay.
Would you play either one or both and try to get the whole running game because of Ty Montgomery being out? And that's from Jason over there at that table in the corner.
Okay. So Jason, joining us live here at the Airport Grill, he wants to know, I guess he has a combination of both Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, the two Patriots running backs. Um, would you lean in one direction over the other this week, or would you potentially look to roll the dice and play them both this week against the Steelers? And I know if it's me, I'm thinking you might have to play the two of them with confidence because until this wide receiving room slash quarterback and just this whole offensive air attack for New England really starts to make strides from what we've seen thus far, week 1, all throughout the summer. and they show us something, and they can more so bring the consistency factor. I feel like until they get their act together, the Patriots are gonna live and die by their running attack. We've seen that pretty much play out to be true all of last year, 2021. Um, I love Stevenson this year. I definitely have him on one of my teams. I'm certainly expecting him to make another step forward in terms of his growth, his maturity on and off the field. Harris, Damian Harris is very consistent. Not elite, but he's definitely pretty good and dependable. The only thing with him is he gets a little bit of an injury bug from time to time. And I would have to say that might be the one knock that I have on Damian Harris. Other than that, he's a good tough runner for the Patriots. Got a little bit of speed, plenty of physicality. I love what he brings to the New England backfield, and I feel like their two styles, Stevenson and Harris, um, they complement each other beautifully. And I feel like for them, for Jason over here, that's wondering if he should play the two of them. I feel like when you have backs that can complement each other beautifully the way they do, Stevenson a little bit of a dual threat both on the ground and catching passes. Harris, he can catch some passes. It's just not his go-to. It's not his bread and butter. I feel like he's more the ground and pound early down running back. But I would say because you have enough separation in their style of games, yeah, I would go ahead and fire him up both, especially with the loss over the next month, couple months of Ty Montgomery, who was expected to play a pretty big role in the receiving game. So that's my answer to that. Send over your thoughts on that matter if you agree or disagree. But I think yeah, I would definitely roll with the both Stevenson and Harris.
Hayden wants to know, would you go with the Bills defense with their history against Derrick Henry and the Titans?
Uh, that that that's a tough one. But from what I seen in week one, I can't say enough good things, and let's not get it twisted. I'm not a Bills fan. I do respect them. I'm a huge football enthusiast. My team is the Patriots. But seeing what they did
And we're back. Technology is the best sometimes. This isn't even a technology thing. I just can't even say what happened. Uh, but back Thursday night here at Airport Grill, E to the Ground Sports, E2G Sports Live, and taking you up to kickoff. Well, no, we're not taking you up to kickoff. Getting you ready for Amazon Prime's version of kickoff between the Chargers and the Chiefs tonight. Any more questions? Throw them right in there. Comments, concerns. I'm just trying to fix the screen now. And just to let you know what's going on, we'll be here Sunday. Patriots game. Different casts this week. Murph and Sarah are unavailable this week. So we will roll live from here. Pittsburgh and the Patriots. Kind of a rivalry. Kind of some big games in the past amongst the fun games. And we'll be here Monday night for the doubleheader. Now remember, it's a Monday night doubleheader. The Titans at the Bills, 7:15 kickoff. And 8:30, Minnesota Vikings at Philadelphia Eagles, 8:30 kickoff. So they're doing the doubleheader in week 2 this year rather than week 1 like last year. So that'll be the games. And Sunday Night Football this week is the Bears and Packers. And we'll see if Aaron Rodgers can bounce back or find anybody he likes, even a little bit, to throw the football to, even if he's got to go Joey Lawrence video and throw the ball to himself. He'll do that. But the Bears are 1-0, coming off their victory, 19-10 win over the 49ers, and an absolute monsoon the other day. So we'll take a few more minutes. Food's good, good crowd, music. I can smell seafood, and it's not a bad thing, because anybody who knows me knows I'm allergic. Knows that I'm allergic, and it's not affecting me. Like the smell doesn't get me. So, but smells very, very good in here as always. Comfortable, great staff, and the game on Amazon Prime. So come down here and join us. And if you have any last minute questions as far as fantasy, for one reason, anything this weekend fantasy, even college this weekend, the games aren't super good, but my Auburn team is taking on Penn State, and that's been a game years in the making to be down in the little town of Auburn, Alabama. They played in Penn State last year, and it was a really highly competitive, fun game. So that's part of sports this weekend. Again, we'll be here Sunday. We'll start 10:30 to about 12:15, and then we'll Patriots game on TV. Not sure what the other one is for the area, for the locals. I will look it up, but the Patriots-Steelers game is like a national 1 o'clock game. I saw it was the color red, and there was a lot of red around the country for people to be able to see. So I'm just going to the 506. Pats-Steelers is everywhere west of Peoria, Illinois. So if you're out in that area, you're getting the game. Iron Eagle, Charles Davis, the New England area, most of the South, and then down in Miami and Alabama, Miami at Baltimore. And the Jets at Cleveland is in New York City, Albany, almost out to Syracuse. Syracuse, you're going to get the Patriots game this weekend. And the late game, nope. This one, Indy, Jacksonville is really regional. Like, regional isn't even the word for it. Cincinnati, Dallas, everywhere east of Springfield. No, I'm not going with Little Rock, Arkansas. Everything east, you are getting Cincinnati, Dallas. The middle of the country, Houston, Denver, huge area. All of Texas will get the Cincinnati Dallas game except Houston, and the Arizona Las Vegas game will be Phoenix, Las Vegas, all the way up into Eugene, Oregon, and then it's a real splattering of games on CBS. And Fox single, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, most of the middle of the country, and then the other big game, Seattle, San Francisco, late out on the West Coast. Atlanta or the Rams looks really regional. Washington, Detroit is regional. Those regions will get it. And the Giants, Carolina, all of New York State is going to get the Giants game. And then down in the Charlotte area, my mom's area, Sean Dauber's area, you guys will get Carolina and the Giants on Fox. College football this week. Again, we had talked about some of the games. Oklahoma at Nebraska without Scott Frost is the Fox game. That's Gus Johnson and Joe Klatt. Georgia at South Carolina. Georgia's number one in the country. You're getting Sean McDonough and Todd Blackledge on ESPN. Purdue, Syracuse. Syracuse off to a good start. Brian Custer, Dustin Fox. And Auburn, Penn State. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson. Just what you want for that big game feel. Kind of that SEC afternoon feel, and that's what you're going to get. ABC, Michigan State at Washington, 7:30. Mark Jones, Robert Griffin, who I think is unbelievable. He's a good analyst. Definitely listen to him. He's doing pregame. They're really stretching him thin. And Miami of Florida at Texas A&M, 9 o'clock on ESPN. It's Fowler and Herb Street. So there's some pretty interesting games. The other local game, Maine at Green Bay, Maine at BC. James Bates will be on the call with Tom Worm. And if you have a favorite announcer, let me know. I'll let you know where they're working. But no, should be a good weekend all around of football. College on Saturday, week 3, and we'll start getting into more of the conference games as week 4 gets there, and more of the fun. And tomorrow night's game is Florida State at Louisville on ESPN. Andre Ware is the key figure in the announcement of that game. So we're about to wrap up here a little bit. We've got about 10 minutes here at the Airport Grill. Come on down and join us. Eat, drink, watch the game on Amazon Prime. Band outside, one of the last nice nights we're going to have here. And the food and bevs. Can't go wrong. And a great staff. Everybody just friendly as can be. And so is the clientele that comes in here. And as you see the logo in the background to hide it. So again, tonight it's Kansas City and the Chargers. Kansas City's the home team. Both teams 1-0, coming off victories on the West Coast. So the play here on the short week. And we've had a good Thursday night matchup a few years ago, the 29-28 game, the Chargers and the Chiefs. That was a really interesting one a few years ago. So we've had some classic matchups. I believe Bucker had a game winner at SoFi. So these games are competitive, and if the Chargers can jump out to 2-0 in the division with the tough game of going to Arrowhead already out of the way, that looks really good for them. Justin Herbert without Keenan Allen. See how these defenses play. If I had to pick one of the defenses, I think the consistency side right now is on the Chargers side. Just more veterans. But I think as the season goes on and we get more gelling of these young players for Kansas City, we'll be there. Comments? Just a reminder, yes, we will see you Sunday at 10:30. Why is that coming in private chat? Yes, 10:30. And J.C. Jackson will be playing tonight for the Chargers. He'll be at corner, so they'll have their secondary intact, ready to cover that group. Juju, Sky Moore, McCall Hardman, the backs, Kelsey, Fortson, who's really stepped up, Noah Gray. I'll be ready to cover the crew that Mahomes has out there. So we're going to wrap things up here at the Airport Grill. Come out and join us. 8:15 kickoff, Amazon Prime. Just a good night to get out on a Thursday. And all the Thursday games we'll have here on Amazon Prime. So as the season pushes itself along, this will be definitely the place. All your games, Sunday, Thursdays, ready to go. All right, for the great Galen Campbell who came in, give you your fantasy advice. I'm at E2G Founder. We'll see you again. First show tomorrow, 3 o'clock. 10 a.m. First formation. 3 o'clock, we have 305 takes with Miles and Angel. And then about 5 or 5:15, we'll have Hey Yo Foxborough with Sarah. That'll be your opportunity to see her for the last time before the game on Sunday. And we'll be here Sunday, ready to go, 10:30 a.m. For everybody here at the Airport Grill, everybody here at E2G Sports, Ear to the Ground Sports, thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And we are hashtag Unsung Sports Grid. Have yourself a great night. Come join us. Doors open.